What's up, everybody? It's Bree here, and welcome to Vinyasa Wave. Today's practice is a hip strength and mobility practice. I'm going to be using props just to show you how to add them into the practice in case you have these props lying around your house. If you don't have them, don't even worry about it. You can do this whole practice without. But if you do have props or want to add in props, but you don't have these specific props, you can improvise. So the block, you can use a stack of books, you can use towels, maybe some blankets or pillows, just something to help prop yourself up or something to lean against. That's usually how we're going to use it. The resistance band, it is long. It's just giving us length. So you can use a sweatshirt, a towel, a blanket, something that can go around the foot and give your arms a little extra length, okay? I do have a set of ankle weights. I will show you where we would put them on if you are gonna use them. They are not necessary, but if you're ready to increase your hip strength, I'll show you where to put them on, okay? We're actually gonna start on our back, so grab whatever you need and meet me on your back, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with my yoga block, so if you do have a prop that you are going to use, go ahead and grab it now. We're gonna lay right across it. You're gonna put it across your tailbone. So usually the flattest part is right at that tailbone, so where the top of the butt meets the low back. We're gonna lay right across. Your feet are gonna come on the outside of your mat, arms out towards the side, or you can just lay them on your belly for now, and then gently let your knees come in. We're just gonna take a few moments here, come back into the body, come back into the breath. You always wanna transition the body from whatever you were just doing to this very moment so you can be fully present as you're moving through, because actually that's the biggest point of mobility, is being focused on what your body is doing as you're moving through space. All right, so let's take a few breaths here. Big inhales, big exhales. One more. And a big exhale. Last one. And a big exhale. Great job. If your eyes were closed, just go ahead and open them. Arms are gonna come out towards the side. Take your feet wider than the mat if they're not there already. And we're gonna gently rock our knees side to side. So both knees to the right. Exhale, come through center, both knees to the left. Good. And let's try to start to move with our breath. So you always want to move when your breath allows you to. So when I exhale, I'm going to bring my knees back to center, then drop my knees back over to the other side on my inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale to the other side. So you're not going for speed on this one. We're going slow and controlled, connecting the body, breath, and mind here, working up the spine just a little bit, starting to feel the contraction of the core as the knees come back to center, and then dropping the knees over to the other side. Great job. The next time the knees are on the right side, we're gonna let them stay there. Bring them all the way over, pause. And then we're gonna bend our elbows. So we're in a 90-degree or goal post, or sometimes I call them cactus arms, whatever resonates with you. You're gonna take the backs of the hands down towards the floor, and then try to get those knees to open. Press that left knee down a little bit harder so we start to open up this left hip flexor. And then you take a full breath in here. Big exhale. Good. Keep this goalpost of your arms. Your next exhale, bring your knees through center, go all the way over to the left side. Press that right knee down a little bit harder. Oh my gosh, they are power washing the pool deck. And I'm hoping my mic does its job so you can't hear, but it is so loud. One more big breath in. Big exhale. Good. Come back to center. Lift those knees up. Send your arms out towards the side. We're going to come into butterfly. So the soles of your feet come together, your knees go wide. You can readjust the block if you need, or to get rid of it at any point. But every time you exhale, you're going to try to let those knees drop down a little more. Take a full breath in here. Big exhale. One more. And a big exhale. Good. Stay where you are. See if you can take your hands on the inside of your thighs. Apply just a little bit more pressure. See if we can get those knees to go a little bit wider. Full breath in here. Big exhale. Great job. On your next inhale, close those knees. Feet are flat on the floor. Lift your hips up slightly, but squeeze the core, contract it as you lift your hips up. Get rid of the block and come back down onto the floor. We're gonna take our arms over our head. Chin is off of the chest. Your feet are about hip distance apart. On your exhale, go into a glute bridge. Bring your arms down by your side. Lift your hips all the way up. Press down through those heels. Palms press down and your chin comes off of your chest. Inhale, lower the hips. Arms reach over the head. Exhale, lift the hips all the way up. Squeeze the glutes. Press into the heels. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Good. Really get that hip extension. So opening the top of those hips and then inhale, lower. Last one. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Great job. Once your hips reach the floor, pull your knees in towards your chest. Give them a nice tight squeeze. And then we're going to go ahead and straighten out the legs all the way. Okay? So here's where, if you have ankle weights, you want to start to get them ready. We won't put them on just yet, but I will tell you when you could put them on. But we're going to take our arms out towards the side. We're just going to start with this right leg. So we're really going to try to find the connection between our core and that hip flexor. So we're going to start with leg lifts. So when you lift this leg up, I want you to focus on your spine and making sure you're keeping your leg as straight as you possibly can. So we always want to create tension in the body when we're doing mobility. So this leg is active. So you're squeezing the quad, we're pointing those toes, and my core is already working. Okay, we're gonna start with this right leg. On the inhale, I want you to point your toes, lift your leg up as high as you can without rounding your spine, without lifting your hips up off the floor, making sure this left leg doesn't come off. So it's a nice sweep of the leg up as high as you can, squeezing the quad, pointing the toe. We're gonna take it down. You're gonna flex the foot so the heel is leading the way, but almost come down to the floor. Don't actually touch it. Point the toe, lift. Flex and lower, okay? So after a couple rounds of these, then you can throw the ankle weights on if you have them, but I want you to get the rhythm first. If you can film yourself here, this would be great, or if you have a mirror nearby, but really keeping that spine in a neutral space, because what happens when we start to lift is we start to push our back into the floor to get that leg up really high. I'm not focused on how high you can get it, I'm focused on how well you can control it up and then lower. So even if you have to come up halfway and then lower. Point and lift, okay? 2 more, lift, flex on the way down, keeping that quad engaged the whole time. I'm squeezing my core. Last one, we'll meet back up at the top, point it, pause. Now you're gonna go for speed this time. So palms have to press down into the floor, spine stays neutral. If you need to, bend this left knee for support, but you're gonna go quick, quick, quick. Your legs stay straight. Try not to bend it as you pull in. You're leading for length. Pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. Good job, keep going. We got 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower it down. Excellent job. You can give that right leg a little rock if you need, if that hip got a little spicy. 1 more breath. And then you're gonna pull that right knee in towards your chest. Give it a nice tight squeeze. Good. Then we're gonna lift it to tabletop position. So now it will be bent. Create that 90-degree behind that right knee. Ankle is in line with your knee, and make sure the knee is stacked over your hip. You don't have it pulled into your belly. We're gonna play with a little external rotation here. Left arm comes out towards the side. Press firmly into that left palm, because we're gonna oppose the energy. So as I take my right leg off to the right side, press your left hand down into the floor so your left hip doesn't come off of the floor. Okay, pull it back to center. Usually what happens is, keep moving your breath and your pace though. What happens is when we take this leg to the side is our left hip rolls with us. So the goal is to not lift your left glute even 1 centimeter off the floor. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Keep that 90 degree. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. Pause. Pull it in. Give it a nice tight squeeze. Shake it out if you need. We're going to go for circles. Bring it back out to that tabletop position. Your hip is probably getting a little spicy right now. Mine is already starting to feel it. So now we're going to make a big old circle. Again, the goal is to not move your hips or your glutes off the floor. So I'm going to make a big circle. Start by externally rotating that leg, squeezing my core, bringing it back to center, pulling it all the way in. Begin again, all the way to the side. It should be the slowest circle you could possibly make. If you're starting to pick up the pace, more than likely your hips are rocking too much and you're not targeting your hip strength. All the way around. Notice my left heel and my left hip are not moving. Good, let's reverse the direction, go the opposite way. Squeeze that core as it comes back into the midline. Keep a slow pace. You have 1 more. And then slowly release that leg back down. Give that leg a little shake if you need, and then we're gonna roll over to our left side. We're gonna keep going with that leg lifts, but now we're gonna target that side hip. So we're gonna roll all the way over to our left side, making sure you're on your left hip. So we're not laying on our glutes, we're all the way on our hip. My right hand is in front of me, okay? I'm gonna flip directions just so you can see the front of my body, but I'm still on my right leg. I'm gonna face this way. So we still have that right leg that's moving. My right hand comes in front of me. Make sure there's a nice long line to your body here. We're gonna lift this right leg, but as you lift it, I want you to watch what your hips are doing. I want you to avoid rocking back into your hips. If you need to, pull that left leg forward a little bit more. You can also put your ankle weights on here. All right, ready? Inhale, lift, flex, lower. Watch your hips. As I lift, try not to sink into the hips or smush your body into the mat as you lift. It's a nice lift through the hip and then control the lower. Okay, lift and lower. Lift and lower. If you want to play with your balance, add that arm over the head. We got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we go for speed, so you might need to kick this left foot out a little bit more or put your hand back down, but you're lifting, lift, lift, squeeze your belly, lift, go for quickness, up, up. Be mindful of those hips that you're not rocking backwards. Lift, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, okay? We're gonna roll back onto our back. We're still working with our right leg. If you have your band or whatever you're using, you can go ahead and grab that now. So if you have the towel or a sweatshirt, left leg is straight, and now that band goes on the right foot, okay? When we're working with the band, you always want to work with a straight leg, so that sometimes means you have to pull the leg a little bit farther away from you. Again, make sure you're in a neutral spine here, so you're not pushing into the floor and your belly is not all the way up, okay? Squeeze your quad, pull your straps, your head, neck, and shoulders are down. Start to pull this leg towards you without bending your knee. Once it starts to bend, you've gone too far. Pull, pull, pull. Once you've reached your maximum point, you stay there and give it a couple breaths. If you need to, that left knee, you can bend it for a little support, so that'll take some of that spice away. 1 more breath and release. Excellent job. Shake it out, take the pressure off if you need. We're gonna do that 1 more time, okay? Pull down, create the tension, squeeze your quad, pull the leg towards you. As you push your left heel down, always oppose the energy, create tension in the body, and release. Good job, shake it out. Now we're gonna get a little deeper into the hamstring. So you might need to bend that left knee just because it is gonna get a little spicy. This one's a little tricky. So the goal is to keep this knee in your chest. That's usually the trickiest part for my students when I'm teaching it to them. So I'm starting by pulling my knee in towards my chest. When I lift my leg up, my knee does not pull away from my chest. You keep it in the same spot and lift it up as high as you can and bring it back to the same spot. But if you notice, my knee never shifts away from my chest. You more than likely will not be able to get the same range of motion than when you start up here and pull towards your body. The trick I use, I pull my knee in towards my chest and I put my elbows on the floor. I also put my index fingers on my knee so I can tell if I'm pulling away, okay? So do what you need to keep that knee in place. Here we go, lift it. It's gonna dig deep into your hamstring and your quad strength. Lower down, lift, and lower. 2 more, lift, and lower. Last one, lift, and lower. Excellent job. Go ahead and shake it out. Big shake of that leg. And we're gonna go for that IT band around the outside of that right leg. So put that band back on, straighten your left leg, and then straighten the right leg, okay? Your left hand is gonna hold both straps. Right arm comes out towards the side. We're gonna take this right leg over to the left only a couple inches. You're not actually coming all the way off the floor. Once you reach that point, flex and point your foot. You're gonna start to feel a little tingle on the outside of that leg. Flex and point, flex and point. 3, 2, and 1. Good job, bring it back to center and then slowly release it down. Put that band down for a second. We're gonna go into half happy baby. So we're gonna take that right leg up, grab on the outer edges of that right foot and pull that right knee down. Left leg goes straight. If you can't reach the foot, you can grab behind the back of that knee, but you're pulling down on the outside of the body at the same time you're pushing that left hip down, okay? Hold it here, couple breaths. Big exhale. 2 more. Last one. Great job. Go ahead and release. Shake it out. And we do that all on the other side, okay? So your right leg goes straight. We start with our kicks. Slow kicks. Point at the top. Make sure you stay in a neutral space so you're not pushing into the floor when you lift your leg up. Flex and lower, okay? This quad has to stay active the whole time. Point, flex, lower. Point, flex, lower. Good, keep going. Got a few more here, and then we'll pick up the speed for 4, 3, 2, make sure you're squeezing the core. Last one. Great job, lower it back down. Now you go for speed. Ready, lift. Lift, press your right heel down really hard into the floor to counter the movement. Lift, keep the leg straight. It never bends. Lift, lift, lift. 3, 2, 1, and lower it down. Good job, rock it out if you need. And then we pull that left knee all the way in towards our chest. Give it a good squeeze. Big exhale. And then tabletop position with this left knee. So ankles in line with the knee. Knees stacked over the hip, you have this 90-degree shape. Externally rotate, so take the knee to the left as you press your right heel down and your right glute. Now that you can see the side a little bit better, what I was showing at the other side is when the knee comes out towards the side is our hip usually comes off of the floor. I don't want any space here. I want you to push it down, and then you pull it back to center. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. Pause here. Shake it out if you need. Otherwise, we go into our circles. So make it all the way around. Find that 90-degree, find that external rotation. Pull it in. Same rule applies. Not even a centimeter comes off of this glute or off the floor when you take it around town. Good, reverse directions, go the opposite way. Beautiful job, all the way around. And then bring it back to center. Slowly lower the leg down. And then we're gonna roll over to the right side. We go for those kicks on the side now. So hand behind the head, leg is stacked. If you need support, kick that right leg out, but lift up through that side body. Remember, when we lift the leg, we're not leaning back into it, okay? Here we go, lift, point, flex. Push your right foot down hard to counter the movement. Lift and lower. Try not to rock back onto your butt cheeks at all. Lift and lower. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. We go for speed. Ready? Lift, lift. Quick, push that right leg down hard. Lift through that side hip. 4, 3. Oh my gosh, my hips are cracking. 2, 1, and soften. Good job. Roll onto your back. Give it a good shake if you need, and we set up for our band. Band goes on that left foot. Big kick up towards the sky. Pull down into the straps. Straighten out that leg. Pull towards the body. Remember, we always lead with the straight leg. So even if you have to come back here where it stays straight and then you pull, I'd rather that than your leg in your chest and it's passive and you're not activating anything in the leg. Okay, so squeeze that left quad really tight. Pull and release. Good, last one. Do it again. Pull, squeeze the quad, almost like you're trying to get the back of the knee to the wall in the room that you're in. Head, neck, and shoulders stay down. Keep breathing here. Squeeze this quad. This right leg is still active. It's not hanging out there. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Good job, release. Shake it out if you need. We're gonna go for that deep one. So pull your knee in towards your chest. Remember, the knee does not leave the chest as you straighten the leg. You're trying to get deep into your quad and your hamstring strength here, okay? Lift it all the way up. Keep your knee there and control the lower. Lift it up and control the lower. Lift and lower. Good job. 2 more. Lift and lower. It should feel real spicy in the back of that leg. Up and down. Good job. Shake it out. We're gonna go for that IT band, so crossing the body all the way up. Right hand holds the bands. Go over to the right just a few inches. Once you found that space, you're gonna flex and point those toes. Flex and point those toes. Flex and point those toes. Good job. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Bring it back to center, set up for that half happy baby. So lifting that foot all the way up towards the sky, bringing the foot on the knee on the outside of the body. Same rule applies. Usually when we take our knees or our feet to the side of the body, this hip starts to lift. There should be no space here. Press down. Hold for 3. Big exhale for 2. Big exhale for 1. Excellent job. Bring it back to center. And just rock those knees side to side, softening those hips, giving them a little love after that strength we just put into them. And then meet back in the center, and we're gonna gently rock until you make it up to a seated position. And then just swing those legs around. We're gonna go right into our tabletop position. So hands and knees. Make sure you start with a nice neutral spine first, so no sinking bellies and no sinking shoulders. Up and out of those shoulders first, right into your cat-cow. So on the inhale, drop the belly, chin comes off the chest. Exhale, round. Pull it in, chin in towards your chest. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale. Exhale, round. Beautiful job. And come back to center. Take this right leg out towards the right side. We're gonna rock a little bit, but we're gonna, again, play with external rotation. So as I shift my weight back, I'm gonna lift these right toes up and then place those right toes down. So you're rocking back and forth, but lifting the toes up and then putting the toes down, okay? Shift back and forth, but we're lifting those toes. Bring it forward and back. Good job. One more. Beautiful. Come back to center. Untuck those left toes if they were tucked. We're gonna take this right arm up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, you're gonna thread the needle. So this right hand comes underneath your left. Either your shoulder meets the floor, or if you have your prop, you can put your head on a block if the floor is far away. But try to push down through this right hip, and left hand keeps your chest rotating. Good, exhale, come back to center. And then pull it in, we're gonna do the other side. So left leg extends, rock back, lifting the toes, and bring it back to center. Rock back, lift the toes, bring it back to center. Back and forth. One more. So you're actively lifting those toes. Bring it back, let's thread the needle. Left arm lifts. Exhale, thread, reach underneath that right hand. Left shoulder either meets the floor or head meets a block, and then keep the chest rotating. Great job. On the inhale, come back to center. Come back to tabletop. We're gonna lift our chest. We're gonna take this right leg forward. We're gonna rock kind of like we're hitting sections on a clock. So my right leg is up front. So we're gonna go right at 12 o'clock. We're gonna go right over to 2 o'clock, so you're kind of at a diagonal, and then all the way, what is this, 3? I don't know my clocks. So you're going straight, diagonal, and then straight out to the side. And then we're gonna work your way back. Come back to your diagonal, bring it back, go back to the front right at 12 o'clock, okay? Pull it back, diagonal, and then off to the side. When we go off to the side here, make sure that knee stays wide. What happens is we usually sit into the hips and that knee starts to internally rotate, and you're at a funky angle with your ankle. That's like a tongue twister. It's not gonna feel nice after a while, so we need to squeeze our glutes, keep that knee wide, especially for this one. Okay, work your way back. One more. Diagonal. And out towards the side. Good job. And then bring it back all the way in, okay? We're gonna go for some hip strength now. So this one's gonna be pretty spicy, so if you have something to hold, maybe a wall or the sofa, that will help you, because we're gonna try to lift this leg up and over an imaginary something. So imagine I have my block here, or imagine you have something there, because going over something is gonna be your next spicy option. So we can start with an imaginary block, or you can throw the block in right away. But we're gonna try to lift this leg up and over without taking the whole body to get it up and over, okay? So it can just be a little lift and over, lift and over, okay? The goal is to keep the body as still as you possibly can. Up and around, okay? Squeezing the belly. If you have something to hold on to, that will help. But try not to rock your body too much. Give me 3 more. 2 and 1. Great job. We're gonna go right into 90-90, and then we'll go on the other side. So take this right leg, put it parallel to the front of your mat, and then bend this left knee inwards. So we're here in this 90-90 shape. Sometimes you gotta pull that butt cheek out of the way so you're directly on your butt bones. Sometimes we shift to the right side a little bit. I need shoulders and hips stacked and square. That's how you know if you're in the shape correctly. Sometimes you can put a block underneath you that will help shift your body weight so you're more centered, okay? From here, we're gonna take both arms up. On the exhale, right hand comes down to your right side, but I'm gonna face this way just for a second so you can see. So we're in that 90-90. I want you to lean to the right, but I don't want you to lift this left hip up. Left butt bone stays down as you go to the right side. Okay, hold it there. Keep breathing. Big inhales, big exhales. Inhale, lift. We're gonna twist. So right arm to your right shin, left hand comes behind you. Open up the body. Exhale, release, come back to center. Arms up and fold. Come straight down the middle. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Good. Lift your chest on your inhale, and now we play. Don't worry about what it looks like in the body. Don't worry about alignment, just play here. So I want this left leg. The goal is to take it to the front and to the back, okay? So here's your full spicy option. You're gonna lift this left leg. I'm gonna take it to the front, and then I would go all the way to pigeon for full spice, okay? It may just look like you taking your hand down, kicking that leg up, and then you bring it back to where you started. Just explore the body. That's really the basis of mobility, is just exploring different shapes, the different shapes your body can make. So play around here, see how deep you can get into that hip, all the way around. Good. Oh, and if you want the full, I forgot to mention the most important part. Full spice is trying not to touch the floor as you go back and forth. Okay, give me one more. Start bringing it back to its original position. And then we go right into pigeon on this right side. So right knee towards the right wrist, left leg extends. Find pigeon, slowly lower down. You can take that block and put it back underneath your right butt cheek if you need assistance getting those hips square. Because remember, sometimes we tend to rock to the side. Find your pigeon and melt down. Couple breaths here. You can fold all the way down. You could put a block for your forehead. You can thread the needle. You can do prayer. You can reach back for that left heel if you'd like. You got plenty of options. 2 more breaths. Big exhale. Great job. Slowly start to lift your chest. Meet me back in tabletop position. We go for the other side. Okay? So that left leg, bring it forward, lift your chest. We go forward, diagonal, and out towards the side. Big rock forward. Really lean as far forward as you can, dropping through that tailbone. Pull it back, go off to the diagonal. Bring it back, straight off to the side. Remember, tailbone stays tucked, knee stays wide. Don't let it internally rotate. Go back, forward, diagonal. Really find the maximum point before you pull yourself out of it. Work your way back. And then one more. Diagonal to the side and back to center. Tuck that left knee all the way in for a second if you need to give it a little shimmy. And then we go for that hip strength. So that left knee comes back up. We go over our imaginary block or a real block, whichever you have. You could put hands on a wall. You can put blocks or reach down for something to support you, but you're gonna go up and over. The goal is to not move the body at all. Up and around, up and around. I'm using my right foot as an anchor, so you can do that as well. So you push down through those toes, lift and lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Let's set up for that 90-90. So left leg comes parallel to the front of your mat, and then you bend that right knee. Again, pull the butt cheeks out of the way so you can get comfortable on the butt bones. Make sure they're straight down. Hips and shoulders are stacked. Sweep the arms up. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches all the way over. Inhale, lift. Twist, left arm forward, right arm back. Good, come back to center and fold. Good, take a full breath in here. Full breath out. Great job. Lift it all the way up and we play. So take this leg to the front, Remember, the goal is to not let the foot touch the whole time until you make it all the way back. Remember, you can go all the way to pigeon if you'd like. Kick it to the front, kick it to the back. You can use your hands if you need. Remember, we're not really focusing on alignment here. You're just exploring your body. What does this feel like in your hips and your body? One more. And then start making your leg back to its original position, and then you set up for your pigeon. So left knee towards your left wrist, straighten out that right leg, lower it all the way down. You can put a block for your head, you can put a block underneath that left hip, you can thread the needle, you can reach back for that right heel, whatever you would like. But we have 3 breaths in this space. And slowly lift your chest all the way up. Good job. Let's go back to tabletop position. We're gonna go into our froggy. So knees are gonna go wide, and I want hips and knees in one straight line. So if I was to look at you from the top, usually what happens when we're in the froggy, we tend to lean ourselves too far forward, or we tuck our feet in and we sit our heels back, or our hips back on our heels. So you're kind of almost in a really wide child's pose. So I want hips in the same line as your knees. I usually do it long ways on my mat. You can put a block for your forehead or your forearms, or if you want to add a little extra spice, if you already have a decent frog or you want to make it more intense, you can put one block underneath one knee to get a little bit deeper, okay? So find your frog, knees go wide. Once you're in it, you have 4 full breaths. Again, make sure your hips are in line with your knee. Ankles are in line with your knees, so don't tuck those toes in, and then puff up into that back. Push into the elbows, keep your chin off of your chest, and core is activated. Okay, here we go. Full breath in. Big exhale. Big breath in. Big exhale. 2 more. Big exhale. Last one. And a big exhale. Excellent job. Hands down, get yourself out of it. Have a seat once you get out of that frog. And we're just gonna come right into butterfly. So feet will come together, sit up nice and tall. And then on the exhale, fold. Taking those knees nice and wide. Taking a full breath in. And a full breath out. Good, go ahead and lift your chest. Just send your legs straight out in front of you. Give them a nice little shake. Take a full breath in and out. You can kind of rock side to side, open up those hips. Good, we're gonna lay back down. We're gonna finish how we started. So that block, if you have it, is gonna go back underneath that tailbone. You're gonna lay long on it this time. So legs are gonna go straight out. Hips are lifted, arms are out towards the side. We're just gonna finish it off here with 4 breaths. Try to soften so much that your feet start to roll open. If you want a little extra spice, you can lay here in diamond again. If you wanna do that. You can close your diamond, or excuse me, your butterfly, if you wanna get a little deeper into the hips now that they're a little warmed up, so you'll stack legs on top of each other. You have plenty of options, but we got 4 breaths all the way in. Big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. One more. And go ahead and bring yourself up to a seated position. So knees together, feet come down, lift your hips up, take that block out of the way, and come up to a seated position. And you all are done. Excellent job today with today's hip strength and mobility flow. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.